Hey guys. Different kind of video today. I'm currently watching a movie called Look Back, written based off of the manga written by Tatsuki Fujimoto. Same guy who wrote Chainsaw Man, Fire Punch. I'm a huge fan of his. And I actually wrote some notes about it, and I want to talk about the basic plot and how I feel jealousy is the ultimate motivator. So it starts with this girl called Fujino, and she's drawing for the school paper. So she's drawing this like a 4 panel manga, which is like a Japanese comic book, and everyone loves it, and they praise her and they call her the best artist. And then this random girl named Kiyomoto actually starts writing it with her, right? And there's this boy, and he says, "Oh wow, compared to Kiyomoto, your drawings kind of look mid. They look average." And like this motivates her to practice drawing for like the entirety of like primary school. Doesn't stop because she feeds off of this praise, and I think the praise that other people give her, is connected to her self-worth, which was something I could kind of relate to. I don't know. I feel like, and this is not just me, I'm sure a lot of us don't realize the value that we bring to others unless we're told of what the value brings. So she practices all primary year, and then middle school comes, and she's still not better. So she gives up. I think this was probably the part of the story I didn't expect. Now, her giving up was a complete curveball. Like she's practicing and she's practicing and practicing. And just because she's not better, I would expect her this to motivate her to practice. I thought this was going to be like about how her jealousy and how her desire for approval is going to destroy her school life, and how it will push away all of her family and friends, and she will only focus on drawing. So this is like maybe 10 minutes into the movie. So after she graduates, so now she's starting to spend time with her family and friends, who've recently been concerned of how much she's actually drawing and how little time she's spending with her friends. So she spends time with them, and this is probably the happiest moments that she's been in a while. After being isolated for so long, you kind of don't know anyone except for yourself. Of course, that's not really the case now, thanks to the internet. I mean, do you? I feel like I'm not sure. I want to say that we don't know other people, but I have tons of internet friends, and I feel like I know them fairly well. I think the best way to get to know someone is in person, and in this scenario, she's all alone. But what, like, being alone, what does that kind of mean, man? Like, is she enjoying the time she's taking to draw? I think she believes that the ends will justify the means. So her sacrificing her youth to draw and to draw and to draw will bring her into this like powerful position. Keep in mind, she didn't even really care. Oh, I didn't say this. I'm sorry. She didn't really care about drawing, right? She just drew it for approval, and she only started to care when that approval was taken away from her. If it was for anything else, if it was for sports, academics, then she was the best. Then like it would be the same story. So then, actually, after graduating primary school and moving on to middle school, she's asked to bring the graduation scroll to Kiyomoto, the other girl who writes manga with her. And so she brings it, and she finds out just how hard that Kiyomoto actually works to make her art at that like the level it is. Something I've noticed is Kiyomoto's art is very realistic. It's usually landscapes and scenes instead of actual people or a story. It's more of without what was her name? Sorry, I have written down here. Without Fujino her drawings mean nothing other than, oh, it's just pretty. Meaning she herself, although a good artist, is not a good mangaka. So she finds out how hard Kyomoto actually works, and that Kyomoto actually looks up to her. And she doesn't seem that happy, to be honest, to find out that the person she's been envious of has actually been looking up to her. Maybe it's a sense of confusion. Of course, I haven't finished the video yet, the movie yet. This is like gonna be split up, but I don't know. It's just interesting to me how like you find out that the person you've been jealous of all this time thinks your work is better. Like she calls her sensei, which um I'm sure most of you guys know if you're watching. But if you don't, it's essentially like you say it to your superior or to your teacher. She's been reading this girl's manga from since like the third grade. And time again, like she remembers dates like August 28th, Love Square, and asks her to sign her, like her back. And yeah, I'm gonna continue watching the movie now. See you guys soon. Hi guys, I just finished the movie. Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh, this was beautiful. Like I actually felt like I was about to cry. Like I'm a very emotional person, but I just feel like it was something that it's a story that most people could probably resonate with, and a story about how not only just does jealousy motivate us, but also the friendships that motivate us. It's not like oh sorry, shaky camera. It's not like together we're stronger, but it's like together we're happier. Oh my gosh. So, spoiler warning for the rest of the movie. Just gonna walk through the plot and I'm gonna talk about it. We left off, I think, finding out. I don't remember. Um, right. So finds out that she's a mega fan, right? That Kyomoto is a mega fan, and that she wants to be like Fujino. So actually, Fujino lies about why she stopped drawing manga. It wasn't that is she says that she actually stopped because she wanted more time to enter a manga competition. But she's been looking for an assistant and blah 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 blah, just a whole bunch of excuses. So so Kyomoto is like, "Oh, I want to see it. I want to see the manga. Please, please. Like let me work with you." So then they start working on the manga together named Metal Parade. I wonder if like that's an actual thing that Miss Fujimoto worked. I'm assuming she's a woman because, well, Fujino, the main character, this is obviously based off of Fujimoto's life. So the manga is actually super successful, and they win like 100 million yen, which is like a ton of money. So they hang out like they write. Sorry, I'm skipping forward. They hang out. They work on the manga every day. They hang out together day and night, just writing and writing and drawing, and then finally they finish and they submit it to the the guy in charge of the manga competition, and they win. They're both super happy, right? Wait, what did I write? Oh yeah, they kind of had like a lesbian thing. I don't know, or maybe it's just like a really tight friendship. It's strange. It's strange. Um, so they spend the day out together, and like some cool things I noticed is in Fujimoto's work especially is they are a huge fan of movies. In the Chainsaw Man intro, the entire thing is inspired off of movie scenes. And they have another manga called Goodbye Eri. The entire thing is about like this guy who wants to write film and who wants to become a videographer, I think it's called. So like super into film, and I noticed that every time it's the same pose, same movie playing, Wow, wow. This is actually like beautiful. So they get crepes, they eat together, they laugh together, and then they go home on the subway. And Kyomoto looks to Fujino and thanks her for not only the day out, but for getting her out of her room. Because Kyomoto was a shut-in beforehand. Should have mentioned that. My bad. And it was just an honor to work with her. So then they start writing more manga together. They write more manga and they write more manga all throughout high school. And they get a deal by Shonen Jump, which is a like the number it's like the number one in the manga industry. Um yeah, so they graduate, really happy days. But after graduation, Kyomoto talks to Fujino and it's like, "Yo, Fujino, uh I want to go to art school, which means I won't be able to write the manga with you anymore. You'll have to do it on your own." And Fujino's pissed. I think not just because she's losing her assistant, but also because she's losing her friend. And she tries manipulating her, telling her, "Oh, but you're shut in. You can't do anything without me." You're like at very hard or very harshful things. And Kimoto gets accepted into art school, and Fujino continues to draw. And actually, this is probably my favorite part of the movie. No, this is like the part I was like, whoa. So Fujino insults and manipulates and berates Kyomoto, saying, "You're nothing without me. Like, art school sucks. Like, you're not gonna learn anything there. Most people at art school don't even make money." And, time skip. Fujino's writing for Weekly Shonen, which is Shonen Jump, but on the weekly schedule, which is like every week you release a chapter. Right now, Chainsaw Man is on a bi-weekly schedule, so it's kind of different. So now Kyomoto and Fujino have gone their separate ways. And there's actually a reference to Chainsaw Man, a manga that Fujimoto's written. I was like so surprised. So Kimoto and Fujino have split up. Fujino writing for Weekly Jump herself. Reminds me of her younger days. Right, the way the movie was, and I'm sure how the manga is the same, how they kind of portrayed it was how she was like, she's kept drawing and she kept drawing, and just like how notebooks were stacking, the manga volumes were also stacking in that same way, and the shelf has become more filled and more filled and more filled. Shows a nice like callback, look back. And we'll get to the name of the movie later. Um, this is obviously the story of Fujimoto's life, I'm assuming, right? From Chainsaw Man to the theory that Fujimoto's actually a woman, such and such, right? Like this was written during, like, right after part one of Chainsaw Man ended and part two was starting, if I'm not wrong. So I feel in this area, Fujimoto lost some sort of resolve and didn't really feel like making manga anymore. So the story of Fujimoto's life, and suddenly Fujino looks on the news and sees that the art school that Kyomoto went to was attacked by a crazy guy, and tries to call Kyomoto, to no response. Thinking the worst, Kyomoto is dead. She drops the phone and kind of breaks down. Loss is a horrible thing. Everyone goes through it, but it's still, just because it happens to everyone doesn't mean make it right. This all, mm, hmm So grieving, this is my favorite part of the movie. Fujino visits Kyomoto's old room, and holy foreshadowing. At the beginning of the movie, Kyomoto writes a stupid comic about like, oh, no, sorry, Fujino writes a stupid comic about like, oh, Kyomoto's a shut-in, she never leaves her room, and it's like, at the end, it's Kyomoto as like a pile of bones, right? Because she's dead in her room. And now she's dead, and now she's visiting her room. Whoa. It's not like crazy, but like, it's something I really liked. Hearing about an attack, okay. Holy foreshadowing, yeah. So now she's blaming herself because, well, yes, if Fujino never convinced Kyomoto to come out of her room, she wouldn't have died. But that doesn't mean, and this isn't like just what I'm saying. This doesn't mean that Kyomoto herself Fujino herself is responsible for the death. There were tons of choices after her leaving the room that did end on her death, primarily splitting up with Fujino and going to art school. It was like her sitting on that specific couch is the reason why she's dead today. So Kyomoto is dead. Okay. Now she's blaming herself. I'm the reason. I'm the reason. Like if I never if I never convinced her. So now we're looking at it at Kyomoto's perspective, like a flashback of when the stupid manga and when she first read that manga strip. And yeah, and it's kind of like her pushing into the next life, and it's essentially the same story, but like from Kyomoto's perspective now. And she actually paints the door from Chainsaw Man, which again is is another callback or more of a reference to another piece of work. I'm kind of tired. It's late. I'll end the video soon. She paints the door from Chainsaw Man, which I think is a sword, and in that door, Pochita, a little guy, like a little assist, like a little dog. He tells Denji, the main character, to not open the door. And time again, Denji's faced with opportunities, doors, that he shouldn't have been taking, but time and time again, he does take it, causing severe pain not just to him, but to those around him, and his choices have affected the lives of many. So, and it's always happened with an open door. So I think here, what Fujimoto is trying to tell us is that that open door is is her room. If she never opened the door to let to chase after Fujino, she wouldn't have been dead to here today. So then we see her die, crazy guy, about to like kill her. Now this is why I think this is an alternate world, not the same world, because in this scene, Fujino runs behind the guy and karate kicks him in the back, right? Saving Kyomoto. But they don't know each other. Well, Kyomoto knows Fujino, but Fujino doesn't know Kyomoto because Kyomoto read the manga back in like middle school, primary school, but never read, but didn't like, never worked on the manga with her. And then because Fujimo, in this world, Fujimo quit to work on karate. Yeah, I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. So, like, holy flip. Um, then Fujimo writes a manga called Lookback. Right, no, sorry, I'm jumping. So then Fujino has a broken leg and is going to the hospital and tells Kyomoto, hey, once if like my manga gets serialized because she started drawing again, I want you to be my assistant. And then like this is kind of like it's the same idea of when they were younger, but in the modern day now. Hey, let's work together. I want our manga, like you're a good artist, you know? Yeah, so it's an alternate world where they never met. And we are back in the so Fuji so then sorry. So then Kyomoto, wait. Fujimoto. Oh, wait. Holy shit. This story is about Fujimoto losing a part of herself. Fujimoto. Oh my gosh, wow. It's not that someone died in Fujimoto's life, but a part of her has died. Perhaps the part of her that loved drawing when she was younger and who looked up to a Fujino in her life. Kyomoto represents Fujimo, and the future Fujino represents Fujimoto. Wow. So, Kyomoto, like now older, like in the alternate world, writes a manga called Lookback, which is essentially just like a comedy gag of what happened to her and how Fujino came, kicked the guy in the back, and then Fujino has like an axe in her butt. It's silly. So now we're back in the original world, and like the door that is that connects the hallway to Fujimo's room is like connecting, you know? It's like kind of connecting like a parallel world. So Kyomoto's manga strip slips under the door, and Fujimoto and Fujino picks it up. Then Fujino, with newfound resolve, goes home and begins to write manga again, and asks her, like, remembers a question that her one of her classmates asked her a long time ago. Then why do you draw, Fujino? And like it's like a flashback of the time that Kyomoto and Fujino spent together. So I think the reason why Fujino draws isn't to gain the praise that she once wanted, but to be able to connect to Kyomoto and to just be her friend. Because what she wants is someone that shares her interest of manga and shares her interest of art with her. So now, with newfound resolve, she begins working on Shark. It was called Shark Kick, but like it's Chainsaw Man. She begins working on Shark Kick again, and that's the end of the movie. Wow. I just came to that epiphany like right now. Oof. It was amazing. It's an amazing movie. I really recommend for all of you to watch it or read the manga. I'm probably gonna read the manga. Like maybe there's something different with it. Um, I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you for listening to me to talk. I know this isn't a monster review or anything, but I just kind of wanted to talk about it. I just like it was an amazing movie. Oh man. All right. Thank you for watching, guys. Nikki out.